YouTube. Today we are revisiting El Reno. El Reno was actually the very first tornado that I ever reacted to. So I thought it would be cool, with a little bit more knowledge to go back and watch. Uh, Maybe there's extra things we pick up on, or, heck, who doesn't like revisiting El Reno? I hate, what it did, of course. But largest tornado ever. Uh, let's hop into it. Anyways, this video is by World's Worst. I will have a link to the video and his channel or their channel in the description below if you'd like to check it out without my face in it. Anyways, El Reno, baby.
Yeah, it's pretty big.
In mere minutes, this storm would become one of the most infamous natural disasters in modern American history. But how did it come to this? Just days before, an EF5 tornado ripped through Moore, Oklahoma, leaving the state stunned. It was a brutal reminder of nature's fury. But while the people of Oklahoma tried to recover, the atmosphere had other plans. Another
Poor old Oklahoma, dude. After all these tornado videos, I always say you need to move out of Oklahoma. That place, man. The tornado, at least for like tornado season, just kind of get out of there. I know tornadoes can hit at any time, right? I know that. But Oklahoma, during tornado season, you know what I mean.
powerful weather system began forming right behind it. Meteorologists spotted a deep trough in the atmosphere, forecasting rapidly intensifying conditions across central Oklahoma.
Stay out of the hail and have a view of a tornado and keep everyone alerted as to what the danger is.
Warm,
Wait, that's the guy that got actually hit by the tornado, right? His vehicle got rolled. He's with the National Weather Service. Can't remember the name. I'm sure we'll hear it here soon. But I think that's who that was.
muggy air from the Gulf collided with intense upper-level winds, creating a volatile setup. Everything was primed for severe storms, the kind that could easily spin up destructive tornadoes. And with tornado season in full
Just got
swing,
flashbanged.
chasers from across the country were already on the road. Radar screens lit up by late afternoon. What began as harmless little cells soon exploded into towering supercells capable of producing giant hail and violent winds. Among those chasing was Tim Samaras, a respected veteran storm chaser known for his cautious, data-driven approach. His team, which included his son Paul and researcher Carl Jung, was determined to gather crucial scientific data from inside tornadoes to improve future warnings. By
R.I.P.
5 p.m., hail the size of baseballs was hammering the area. The southernmost supercell quickly began to overshadow the others, tapping into the unstable air and strengthening at an alarming rate. At 6:01 p.m., the first tornado report surfaced. But rather than a narrow funnel cloud, a swirling mass of dust and debris began.
Dude, that just looks so creepy. Looks so creepy. I'm gonna stand on business here. I had El Reno, 2013 El Reno, listed as my number one tornado. The only thing that I would change around a little bit is I would move. There was also the 2011 outbreak, Piedmont. Right, I know it's Piedmont. I just have to throw that in there every now and then. El Reno, Piedmont. From 2011, that was. It's fair to say to where it actually did damage, it was stronger, right? But the standing on business part, I still think that had this went through a major city, and I thank God that it didn't, this would have been just as bad, man. Now, I know flipping that oil rig was, that's impressive. The only reason I call it impressive because no one got hurt there. But like with El Reno, man, everybody, thinks the strength of that one funnel. And the way I look at it was by overall damage. Like, El Reno had its main vortice, then it had all these other vortices just going around. They were getting wind speed measurements of like nearly 300 miles per hour. And if you've been around for a while, we've watched El Reno before. We've seen those extra vortices going around. Just imagine that in a city, right? Imagine that going through more. I hope it never does. But oh my God, the amount of damage that would be done in comparison, like when we did our top 10, we imagined that one vortice just traveling right down the center. And that's what makes El Reno crazy to me, is all those extra vortices going around. So, you might go through the main vortice and then also get by another one looping around from behind. That's just as strong. That's what gets it with me, is like, one spot isn't only going to you may only get hit once, but there's going to be several spots that are going to get hit by multiple vortices. And I just think the damage from that would be absolutely insane. All right, I'll stop yapping.
And circling beneath the storm's enormous base. It was massive, and it was only getting started.
One last thing. It helps, too, that this thing was over 2.5 miles wide. Just saying that.
We got multiple vortexes. Multi-vortexes.
What followed was chaos. Sub-vortices, smaller, violent circulations within the tornado, danced unpredictably across the fields. It became clear to seasoned chasers this wasn't a typical storm. Even more alarming, the tornado wasn't following the usual northeast track. Instead, it veered southeast, putting hundreds of chasers and sightseers directly in harm's way. A tornado tour group found themselves dangerously close to the growing monster. In a frantic rush, they piled into their vans and sped off, barely escaping with their lives.
Get in now, get in now. Get around now. Shut that door.
Meanwhile, other chasers weren't as lucky. Storm spotters Brett Wright and Brandon Sullivan misjudged the tornado's speed and path.
This
In a
happened to several
heartbeat,
chasers.
Debris shattered their windshield.
Oh my gosh. Debris! Debris! It's coming up! That whole thing's coming up! Oh my god. Oh my god.
Up for you.
Keep going, Andrew. Keep going. Keep going. Why is this guy stopping? Watch that stops.
Hey, the only reason I laugh there is like, why is this dude stopping? And you see all this debris just like smacking into this guy's car.
And they bolted south, outrunning the storm by a razor-thin margin. North of them, the Twistex team was moving into position. The tornado had now evolved into a colossal wedge.
Oh, is this some of the footage here?
So wide, it looked like a moving wall of darkness. A nearby
Oh, they
mobile
will show
radar
it.
unit recorded something rarely seen. Multiple rotating cores within the same circulation. The storm was behaving unlike anything researchers had ever documented. At the same time, chaser Richard Henderson was nearby. He snapped a quick photo of the tornado and sent it to a friend before continuing to follow the storm.
I'm having fun. I'm riding around chasing storms.
It would be his last message.
Oh,
You
God.
better stop doing that.
At 6:12 p.m., the tornado suddenly accelerated, doubling its forward speed from 20 to over 50 miles per hour. Chasers scrambled to find escape routes on narrow country roads, now slick with rain. Skip Talbot, another experienced chaser, noticed something terrifying. The rain bands around them were racing sideways, a sure sign the tornado's winds were closing in. What looked like rain was actually the edge of the tornado itself.
I hope all the chasers are good.
Almost 300 miles per hour. And this is something else. I don't know how in depth it'll go into it. They call it storm chasers off guard. Was not only was the the forward speed increasing, but it was expanding super fast as well. So you just, hey, look, it's early in the morning. I ain't trying to math, right? I still got bags in their minds, dude. But like, you have a storm moving like 60 miles an hour straight, then plus it's expanding out. It's, if you're not ready for it, and obviously a lot of people here weren't, well, you'll see.
I hope all those people that were swimming are like safe.
Yeah.
EF5.
The Weather Channel's team spotted the tornado approaching. They made a split-second decision to head south, thinking it was their safest
Yeah,
bet.
Mike Betts.
But they didn't realize the tornado was expanding faster than any tornado in history. Within a minute,
The
it
Betts
had
mobile.
grown from a mile wide to over 2.6 miles, effectively doubling in size. Its combined expansion and forward motion made it nearly impossible to outrun.
Mike, can you hear us?
This is one of my favorite pieces of footage. And it always cracks me up.
Guys, that's it. Right there. There's the tornado.
It's just like, you see this big black wall in the back, just sitting on the ground, and you have this guy. He's like, hey, look, there it is. Oh, God. Yeah, there it is, boys. That massive thing on the ground right there. There's the nadir. There it is. Take a look.
Here just now, just north of Union City, south of El Reno, south of I-40. Cops have blocked off 81 at this point and not letting traffic go southbound because the path of the tornado could come right over top of Union City or pass very close to it. Look at that monster. This is a huge tornado. If you live in Union City, south of El Reno, you have to take shelter. We may
I ain't gonna lie, those two posts there got me for a second. I was like, is that two people just standing out in the field just watching? Just
actually
two
quickly
posts.
try to get in our cars and get south of this. That'd be the safest place to do that. I think we have to go now in order to stay ahead of this and not get run over by it. So guys, I think we're gonna get back in our cars. We're gonna try to keep our cameras on top of this, and we're gonna roll just to stay safe, okay? We'll be back with you in just a minute, but huge, violent tornado right now approaching Union City, south of El Reno, Oklahoma.
The Weather Channel convoy was overtaken. One vehicle was tossed into a ditch. Another was smashed by winds over 120 miles per hour.
Hold on, brothers. Hold on. Everybody jump, go. Just keep going if you can. Keep going if you can. Everybody jump down. Everybody jump down.
Got lucky, man.
Further north, the Twistex team pressed on. In their final transmission, one of them was heard over the radio saying, "We're going to die." And then, silence. Richard Henderson, still behind the
Okay, yeah, that was Team Twistex there. That was Team Twistex. I'll let the video elaborate on it if it's going to. If not, we'll touch on it at the end of the video.
line of fleeing vehicles, lost sight of the tornado in the blinding rain. It was much closer than he realized. Debris began striking his car, and moments later, the tornado engulfed him. As the Twister crossed Interstate 40, it left destruction in its wake.
What is that? What is that? It looks like the tornado. The car won't go.
The video ain't got much longer left, so it might not touch on everything. Dan Robinson here was the head of Twistex. What you're seeing behind him, they seen the headlights of the Twistex team trying to run from the tornado before they got hit.
I've got to get out of whatever this is. The car just isn't going.
Twisting.
18-wheelers flipped like toys. Cars were hurled from the road. Tragically, a young mother named Maria Martin
R.I.P.
and her newborn baby were killed when their vehicle was caught in the chaos. At its peak, mobile radar measured wind speeds of nearly 300 miles per hour. one of the strongest readings ever recorded in a tornado. A satellite tornado spun around the main funnel, racing across the landscape at astonishing speeds. Miraculously, before reaching Oklahoma City, the tornado began to weaken. Had it maintained its strength, the death toll could have reached the hundreds. But the danger wasn't over yet. Panicked drivers, storm chasers, and residents clogged the highways, unsure of where to go. Newscasters urged people to flee south, worsening the traffic nightmare.
You can go south right now. If you don't feel safe, go south. Get out of its way. Reed Timmer is on that. Reed, what do you have?
Had the tornado turned east, it could have torn straight through the congested interstates. A worst-case scenario narrowly avoided when the storm lost power. By nightfall,
Thankfully.
emergency crews and chasers scoured the wreckage. They discovered the bodies of Tim Samaras, his son Paul,
Yeah, take a look at that car, dude. Absolutely demolished. And this is Team Twistex here that they're talking about.
and Carl Young. Richard Henderson's body was later recovered nearby. It was the deadliest day in history for storm chasers. Until then, no professional chaser had ever died in a tornado.
Let's just go fast up here.
But
Dangerous
this storm
stuff, man.
changed everything.
It's gonna be huge. How are our road options? Okay.
The El Reno tornado proved that no matter how skilled, experienced, or prepared you are, nature is unpredictable.
Amen.
Its record-breaking size, erratic behavior, and devastating impact left a lasting mark on meteorology, and a stark reminder of how little we truly understand about these deadly storms.
Keep going, Andrew. Keep going. Keep going.
Okay. All right. That's pretty much the end of the video. So, what a beast, man. 2.6 miles wide. I'm glad it touched on, the fact that it was expanding and moving forward. That's how it caught a lot of these storm chasers off guard. Plus its travel path. Yeah, it was a recipe for disaster for storm chasers. Thankfully, this tornado did not hit a major city like Oklahoma. And as for Team Twistex there, man, these guys, after watching the show and stuff, they were so safe. They always erred on the side of caution. But, the erratic behavior of this tornado, the multiple vortices, it happened. That's about all you can say. Because these guys were always safe, man. Always erred on the side of caution. And it was able to catch them off guard. And they'd been doing this for years. Just to give you a little insight into how wild of a situation this was for everyone in the area. Absolutely a beast of a tornado. Absolute beast. That's why I had it ranked at number 1. I would, in the scenario in my head, I would still rank it as number 1. You can make an argument for stronger tornadoes, Smithfield, Piedmont, so on and so forth. But I feel like the overall size, the strength, if you put this tornado in a scenario where it goes through a major city, not only would it inflict not only do I think it would inflict crazy damage, but it's how much would be damaged. A lot of these tornadoes, you take like Smithfield. Wasn't Smithfield like half a mile wide, which is still mind-blowing huge. But you would mainly have that carve through the city. But 2.6 miles wide of rotation, even if some of those winds are weaker, man, that's a lot of damage, dude. That's a lot of damage. So even though it was moving fast, it was so large, you're still taking that damage for a long period of time, and you're getting hit with multiple vortices. Craziness. Absolutely craziness. And it still blows my mind, too. This was the first one I watched. So it's kind of cool going back again and checking out. Once again, this video will be in the description below if you'd like to check it out if you haven't watched it yet. I know most of you have probably already seen it. So, but yeah, man. Caught a lot of people off guard. You had the Betsmobile got hit. Team Twistex, Henderson. It's sad. RIP to the victims. But I'm super glad this didn't hit a major city. So glad it didn't hit a major city. All right, with that said, I am Cheap. Thank you all for watching. If you enjoyed the video, like, subscribe, and all that good jazz. We'll catch you in the next one.